Okay, I'm not going to be able to see the data in my catalog window until I unzip my downloads. So I think I have them in my ArcGIS Chapter 3 folder, Projects, Chapter 3, and now I have some transportation to Mexico, so I'm going to right click on that. I'll go ahead and unzip it with my 7-zip. I've also downloaded some features, and I think these are the boundaries. Okay, so that should be enough. So I need to refresh my projects folder, and then that refreshes all the folders in it. So I should be able to see some of the files in the chapter 3. Um, yep, most of these are geodatabases, so transportation New Mexico, so I'll unroll that. When I see a geodatabase and I see a featured data set, which is another container for the features, so thus a feature data set, that's what it's called. That it also has some tables that don't have features in them, but have links or tabular data that relates to this data. So here's some airports and some runways and some rails, roads, trails. So I'm just going to drag the roads on there. And there's quite a few of them. So we'll let that draw a little bit. But I certainly don't want a map with all the roads that this layer has for it. So I may want to symbolize them differently and allow certain roads not to be shown using the symbology. So I'm going to open up the attribute table and take a look at what kind of attributes I have to use for symbology. So a lot of times you're going to get links, these source data set ID. I noticed that there was a metadata and some tables here that might link to it. But I do see that some roads, there's interstate, there's roads, there's routes. So perhaps I could take out any of these roads that aren't, yeah. This field right here, this column or field, is the feature road class, or the national map feature road classification. Yeah, there it goes. It actually has a domain of functional road classification. So I can symbolize on that one and take out all the local roads and all the ones that that are too many. So let's try that. So on the roads, go to appearance, go to symbology, and just give a unique value to all the fields, to all the different values in that TNM FRC functional road classification. And there's only a certain known, certain set of them, and I can remove the ones that I'm not concerned with, such as the local road. Right click and remove. I'll right click and remove the unknown ones. There probably aren't too many tunnels, but I'll leave those in there. Ferry routes, I doubt there's any, so I won't clutter the legend with that. Four-wheel drive roads, that might be interesting, so I'll leave those in there. Ramps, local connections, maybe still have quite a few left. All other values that don't have that, let's get rid of those, and that might clean things up a bit. I may want to take out that four-wheel drive because it's going to get a little messy. It's taking a long time to refresh. Okay, so as it's drawing, it's looking a whole lot cleaner. I have these nice colors in there, which we can simply, in our table of contents, change those. Just for an example, um, controlled access highway, those are probably the main highways, so we can just use a highway symbol on those. The problem with that is it's segmented, so there are ways around that, and we can talk about those later also. I also didn't want closed roads. Let's remove those. Those aren't so necessary in a state map. So yeah, all those segments, I might have to edit that symbol just a little bit. Go to its properties. And its structure, so it has kind of a dual layer to it. So maybe editing or taking out one of those layers just would just have a dashed effect on that. So yeah, what if I just take out that layer and apply? So that should look solid even though it's segmented. So if it's just one single symbol for all that. So that looks a little better. Okay, so I could go through the rest of these. Secondary highway, those would be like state routes. And maybe I'll go to the gallery here. So maybe this will look segmented. I'll have to edit it as well. But I could just use major road. It's not going to look so good on a pink background, but I plan to just make this hollow. So yeah, let's go to the properties of this and remove the back drop. Make it look a little smoother. And we can change color as well. So anyway, that's symbolizing features and using symbology anyway to remove a lot of the details for the scale on a state scale. So all right.